Hi there, Mouseketeers. Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
There are lots of older Disneyland attractions that you can still ride today. At least when the parks reopen, you can.
But of all the former Disneyland attractions that are now defunct, closed, and gone forever, which ones would you have liked to have experienced? Which ones do you miss?
Which ones do you like the best?
Join us as we take a close look at our top 10 favorite former and defunct Disneyland attractions.
Like, subscribe, and stick around.
We start our journey today at Disneyland in 1962 at the opening of the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. I used to watch this movie again and again growing up, totally identifying with the youngest boy, Francis. I wanted to have all those pet monkeys and elephants and to slide down the natural water slides into the pool on the island. Visiting their treehouse will always be an amazing experience for me.
On opening day, the tree was red. They changed the leaves to green once they learned that the red color fades quicker. And the tree is much larger than it is today as the home of Tarzan's treehouse. It has thousands more leaves and a bunch more branches. Oh, and there you can see the Mills family. John Mills, who played father, and his daughter Haley, who starred in Pollyanna and The Parent Trap, are touring the tree with Walt Disney himself. I've always wanted to see the treehouse this way. The rest of the trees in Adventureland are much smaller, and the Robinson family treehouse is just massive.
It just stands out so much. It's really impressive.
That is the same year they opened the Tahitian Terrace, which we've always wanted to visit. Before the Tropical Hideaway, before Aladdin's Oasis, the spot to grab a bite to eat in Adventureland was the Tahitian Terrace. The original show was really fun, and I've always wanted to taste the house drink, Planter's Punch.
This restaurant really added a lot to the nightlife of Adventureland with its South Seas and Polynesian-themed show, which took place on a charming stage that was completely covered by the branches of a huge Disney tree. In fact, there's a fun story that Walt Disney didn't think the branches were high enough, so he had Imagineers add 5 feet to the artificial tree's trunk. The restaurant served a Californian mix of teriyaki and Hawaiian barbecue, a little heavy on the pineapple spears that still looks really good. Though the Monteo Cristo Ai was a stretch to fit in with the theming, it was the first restaurant at Disneyland to serve the now beloved Disney Monte Cristo sandwich.
The show was a lot of fun. Drummers, hula dancers, firewalkers, and knife dancers performed regularly.
Opening in 1956, the SKYWAY buckets connected Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. It used to go up and over Holiday Hill before closing for a while as they built the Matterhorn in its path. When it reopened in 1969, it went right through the Matterhorn mountain itself, giving an inside view of the fantastic roller coaster.
When Fantasyland closed in the 1980s for the construction of New Fantasyland, you could get some great views riding the SKYWAY buckets, which were only doing round trips from Tomorrowland at the time. In the 90s, the ride closed forever due to metal fatigue. Stress fractures on the support pole inside the Matterhorn can only be repaired by opening up the top of the Matterhorn.
So that makes at least 2 Disney mountains that have inaccessible repairs, the Matterhorn and Expedition Everest.
One of the most charming and modest attractions at Disneyland was the Big Thunder Ranch. It wasn't a thrill ride, but it was a favorite spot for us to head to with our kid when the park got really crowded. It was part zoo and part Disney Ranch and barbecue. You could see some farm animals, have some calmer activities for the kiddos to do, and grab some good barbecue while listening to some good music. Our favorite thing was the running of the sheep.
There was a really cute cabin and an outdoor eating space with a stage that served as a great space for special events, and for a while, Billy Hill and the Hillbillies even played some great music there. Some people forget that before Galaxy's Edge was built, the Circle D Ranch existed here, complete with pastures and stables for the park horses.
There was even a house for the caretakers, which was staffed 24/7.
Across the town of Frontierland, you can head to the Golden Horseshoe, and if you made it before 1986, you can see the original Golden Horseshoe Revue. This fun show was a little burlesque, a little bit sweet torch songs, and a lot of comedy bits. We really love this old theater, and the classic show performed over 39,000 times at Disneyland. And how cool would it be able to see Betty Taylor and Wally Bogue wandering around the park or performing? Really cool.
This show saw its debut before the park opened in 1955 at Walt and Lillian Disney's famous Tempest Fugit anniversary party, where they danced the night away, and it finally closed in October of 1986. A number of other shows have followed, with most recently a dueling piano show playing when Disneyland closed in March.
We really like the dueling pianists, and we hope they are back when the parks reopen.
The new Tomorrowland of 1967 would be one of our favorite places and times to visit in the entire pantheon of Disneyland, maybe top of the list, and perhaps for no greater reason than the ability to ride the People Mover over, around, and through the replussed modern land. This ride was sponsored by Goodyear, had no motors on the vehicles, but was rather run by constantly spinning tires embedded in the track.
And of course, you can still see the tracks today and see how the People Mover used to go into the show buildings of Tomorrowland, allowing you to peek at the attractions and shops. Then it would take you out over the Autopia and around the monorail tracks before returning you to the Tomorrowland station.
The ride closed to be transformed into the Rocket Rods in 1998, which closed shortly after because of damage to the tracks.
The Disneyland version of this attraction opened in 1972 after a successful opening in Walt Disney World. In our opinion, the show was a lot more fun than some of the other Disneyland animatronic shows to come and go, such as America Sings. The designs by Imagineer Mark Davis and the original and often witty music really put it over the top.
It was a lot of fun to be in Bear Country just focusing on the Disney Bears, but they built the theaters at Disneyland with double the capacity of the Walt Disney World version, and its popularity just couldn't keep up.
And in 2011, another Disney Bear, Winnie the Pooh, moved into the hall, closing down the Jamboree. This attraction, brought over from the 1964 World's Fair, still really exists, as it was moved from Disneyland to the Magic Kingdom in 1975. But we would have loved to have seen it at Disneyland. To us, the amazing building is perhaps one of the best parts of the attraction. The theater has multiple audience spaces that rotated around a fixed stage, housing sets and animatronics to tell the show.
The brilliant rotating theater design was unique and processed 200 people every 4 minutes through its doors. But still, when it opened, it was so popular that the wait could be up to 2 hours to get in. In our opinion, the building has seemed to be missing something since that show left for Orlando in '75, and Disney has not found the right inhabitant since. We also love the show. It had some really positive forward thinking that fit really well in with Tomorrowland.
And of course, there was the wonderful Sherman Brothers song, There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. It's very inspiring, and it would be a very welcome addition to the Disneyland soundtrack today.
And now we're really in the thick of it, recalling some of the best attractions to ever grace Disneyland. When the park opened, the most complex ride in Tomorrowland was the Journey to the Moon, which later became Mission to Mars. But in 1967, the Age of the Atom, Disney, with Monsanto's sponsorship, came up with another futuristic idea to showcase their growing technological abilities. What if we shrunk the guests to microscopic size and then sent them on a molecular adventure exploring the atomic structure of a snowflake?
This is really one of my favorites. This ride was heady, fun, educational, and beautiful. It had an Omnimover ride system that would be used a couple years later for the Haunted Mansion, and it sent riders through a mighty microscope, shrinking you further and further as you pass by and through a snowflake. Eventually, you become so small you could enter the nucleus of an atom and see the electrons swirling around you before you would grow back up to your full size as the snowflakes melted. It was original. It was super creative. It utilized lots of different amazing special effects. Wonderful ride.
The ride closed to make way for Star Tours in 1987. If you look closely during the ride, you can still catch a glimpse of the mighty microscope on your space adventure.
Before we share our number one, our favorite former Disneyland attraction, we want to take just a second to make sure you leave us a comment and tell us which one is your favorite, or let us know which one we missed. Please do that. Well, okay, now on to our final and favorite former Disneyland attraction.
Nature's Mine Train through Wonderland. This complex attraction was the Western Desert equivalent of the Jungle Cruise, showcasing themed scenery and animatronics with pure Disney magic and a lot of kitschy comedy. We also loved how it created an area that had multiple ride systems throughout it. You could ride a pack mule or a horse-drawn wagon or take the train to explore the area, and each one offered a different experience.
I'm really fascinated with this attraction. It was massive and complex. It had so many areas to enjoy, from the painted desert with its paint pots, fun saguaro cactus patch and spinning boulders, to the lush bear and beaver countries, and the mysterious Rainbow Caverns from which very little footage exists today. The area featured over 200 animal animatronics to see on the journey, and it had a fun story and a spiel that the train engineers would give during the ride. The mine train opened in 1956 and saw expansion in 1960, and it did not close until they opened Big Thunder Mountain in 1977. The railroad tracks can still be seen along the side of the rivers of America today.
Well, that's it for today, Mouseketeers. Thanks for joining us as we explored our favorite top 10 former Disneyland attractions.
Thanks so much, everybody. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. If you liked it, we have lots more to come. We need you to join the Disneyland Beat family. We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary this month, and we're giving away some free stuff. So be sure to check out the description for our giveaway link. We're doing the drawing on the 15th.
Everybody take care of yourselves. Happy fall!
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.
See you real soon.